Come on, because he's trying to see what everybody else is doing. Yeah. All right. What character are you gonna do? Okay.
Repoman is the character.
Repoman. All right.
Set in the near future.
Repoman in the near future. You got a name?
Yeah. Dan Tussock.
Dan who?
Tussock.
Dan Tussock. Yeah. All right. So Dan Tussock is a Repoman in the near future. What kind of future is it?
Future where people have robots.
All right. So is it clean or is it dystopian? So dystopian or utopian?
It's kind of it's dystopian world at the moment, heading for a utopian ending.
Hopefully.
So what it is he's a repo man who repossesses robots who go walk about. Everyone's got them.
Runaway robots.
Runaway robots who want to go north. That kind of thing. To this utopian world.
Yeah. Isn't that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? The Runaway thing or?
Tom Selleck. No,
Tom Selleck. I knew it was somebody. Yeah. Okay.
All right, I see that one. But anyway, so that's it. So his job is he's a down on his luck repo man.
Down on his luck repo man who's collecting runaway robots.
Yeah, so he's
it.
That's the business he's in, and but what he's finding is every time he catches a runaway robot, they always tell the same story before he kind of zaps them and wipes their memory. That they're all heading to the same location. They've all heard this story of this utopian world of where robots live free.
Kind of like a repeating tape, like a repeating message.
Yeah, they've all heard this idea. Then like backstage, all heading north because they want to go south. There's that kind of thing. They want to cross the border into this utopian world. So you keep saying this story, you think so it's just a load of bullshit. But as he always tell this story before he wipes their memory, and they'll have no memory of why they ran away and whatever before he returns them to their owner. So he loses all his money. His whole life collapses, and he goes right. And he doesn't like robots because he's got lots of debts. But when he sees robots, they don't need money, so they're kind of like living free. And he's thinking like, hang on, they're more free than me, even though they're kind of like indentured slaves in a way. So that pisses him off. But then he comes up with the idea that if all these robots are heading to this utopian world, if he goes to that utopian world, they'll be full of robots that he'd be possessing, which is his own skill set. So he could get them all and make a ton of money, which is what his intention is. So he heads on the road, trying to find this trail, this robot trail.
Trail of tears of robots.
Yeah, so he does that.
I'm an Indian.
So on the way, kind of like the Defiant One's kind of idea, he gets stuck with this robot, this female robot, who's on her way to find this utopian world. So he tags along with her. But on the journey, he will then realise that actually, he doesn't really hate robots.
What's the name of the female robot?
Mary.
Veronica. Could have said Eve. Or Veronica.
Eve, yeah. So he meets his robot, and on their journey they'll go through some kind of adventures and whatever. And then he'll kind of think, actually, you know what? I don't really hate robots. Robots have a much shittier life than me. And then he decides he's not gonna repossess them all, but he will help her get across the border to this utopian planet, or world, or something, whatever.
So, one, you had to build a world, and you already ended it. But maybe she should give him a foot massage.
Well, I think there's could say like an opening scene. The opening scene would be
he'll get a foot massage from the robot.
Yeah.
Chick.
So, but what I was thinking as an opening scene would be he's in his flat, and it's kind of like he's got final demand bill, so we get an idea what it is. And there's a person sitting there, and only when he goes up to him, we realise this person's plugged in, and then you realise it's a robot, and he's in the process of going to wipe this person's memory, and the robot goes no and starts pleading with him not to do it, and starts telling him this utopian story, and as he's telling it, he says the same story back, says, yeah, I've heard this story before, and he's all like negative, while they're saying, oh, it's a great place, and robots live up trees and
too much. So the thing about it is I like it, the beginning stuff. Still think the foot massage should be in there. But the thing about it is I don't think he should not like robots, because we've seen that story from Blade Runner to.
It's not he doesn't like them as such, but
I'm just saying
his intention is to make money out of them.
No, but what I'm saying is kind of like Civil War, for example. Make this guy a retro guy, right? Make him be that he has his apartment is full of parts. Like he has half robots. He has like a robotic arm for whatever reason. He has like different like machinery that is all like pieces and bits and bobs because he's a collector. He's a repo man.
Mm.
So anything he could salvage, that would be like the kind of person he is. So what you're doing is you create a character of a hoarder.
Yeah.
Right. So what's his name again?
Dan Tussler.
Dan. So Dan's a hoarder, right? Now this would be interesting because it's future, right? So Dan's a hoarder, and this place is full of junk, right? It's not junk to him though. He loves it. He loves every last piece. He knows what every piece is. He's like every piece is a cog in the wheel of a bigger piece. So as a collector, going around chasing down runaway robots, what he's also doing is he's going around salvaging parts, and he's building something. Because that's what his mindset is. It's like he's building something. He doesn't know what it is. But what they are telling him is that there's a utopia out there. So he, like everyone else, doesn't believe it. You're a freaking robot. Utopia. Right? But, out of his adventures, that he learns to believe that it's possible. Maybe because, like in like your detective thing, like he gets a knock on the door, and he gets a knock on the door by a female who he doesn't even know is a robot. And that could be your scene is that his first meeting of this Eve, Veronica, or whatever her name, married person is that who comes to tell him about this thing. So, like, what it is the beginning. So we see the world built of this person who's a hoarder, he's a collector, he's a salvager, but he's also in debt. He doesn't have anything that's worth anything, except for to him, because he's a collector. It's like he's a geek, right? He's a comic collector or something of parts. You know what I mean? And then it's kind of like, and he slowly hears about this story. But to end this scene is like, it could be like, wait a minute. If you're not mechanical, you don't have like those rubber faces, you're real as shit. Bonk, bonk. Just saying, right? No.
It wasn't in the
Hey,
original
can
idea.
I get a no, seriously.
It's X-rated.
I'll have to do it.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, yeah, but you see what I'm saying? I mean, it feels like a bigger story, though, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to honk, man. I'm just saying. Is that like he meets someone that he doesn't know is a robot?
He's a mechaphile, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there you go. Mechaphile. That sounded really crazy.